Hi guys, my name is Emily and I wanted to do a story time today about Bufferfest. I went to Bufferfest in Toronto. I apologize in advance if you hear my cat a lot in the background. She doesn't like to be anywhere but my room. That's the scratching noise. She's playing with a bag. Anyways, my story time today was going to be about Bufferfest because I met some pretty big YouTube people. I met Bryan Lanning, I met Shay, Carl, and Colette, and then I met Charles Trippy. Now, I'm a fan of daily vloggers. I like to watch the lifestyle, daily vloggers. I'm an aspiring, I want to have a family someday, so I like to watch a lot of the families grow on YouTube. Anyways, I wanted to go to Bufferfest today, mostly to meet Bryan Lanning because I have been watching Daily Bumps for 2.5 years. I've been watching since Oliver was a baby. And I just really wanted to meet him because he was going to be close in proximity to where I live. And it would be a great opportunity. Anyways, okay, so today is October the 23rd, the last day of Buffer Festival. And I went to see the Daily Vloggers screening, and along with the red carpet event afterwards. Okay, so we'll start at the very beginning. This morning I woke up and then I did whatever. I'd been to my stepbrother's party last night, so I knew I was gonna have a long day, and so I ate a big breakfast to have lots of energy. And then I really just got on my way to Buffer Festival after a couple hours because the event started at 4 and I don't have a car, so I had to take transit and go trains. So I left at about, I got on the go bus at 1:45 and I ended up getting to Toronto at about 3:15, so I had to go and register because I bought the pass and the ticket for the one screen. So, I went to register. I had trouble finding the place because Toronto's big and I don't go to Toronto very often because I live an hour and a half away. So, I went to get to the, hold on. So I remember asking somebody, for directions to the convention center, the Toronto Convention Center, which is where I had to register. So when I got there, I registered, and funny story, a girl I went to high school with was actually running the registration. She was there by herself, and so it was nice to see somebody from high school, somebody nice that I knew. So after I went to register, I headed over in the opposite direction to the theater where they were holding the screening. Now once I got to the screening, it was fairly typical, you go to the door, they check your ticket, and then they let you in. We were waiting for a while before they let us into the theater. And then when they did, it was fairly straightforward. I mean, everybody took their seats, and then, you know how shows are often late to start. They don't actually start right when they say they're going to start. So we waited around for a little bit, and it was funny. I actually saw Jenna Marbles up in a balcony, and she was on her phone, and she was looking over in our direction. That was funny. And then the Daily Vlogger screening started, and I personally loved it. I thought it was very informative, and I didn't know a lot of the creators there, so it was good to hear some of their stories and get to know them. So, of course I was excited when I heard Bryan and saw Bryan in person walk across that stage. I was like, oh my gosh, he's real. It's funny when you have been watching somebody on YouTube for 3 years and then they are there in front of you. It's kind of cool feeling. It's surreal. So I remember shouting, "Hi, Bryan!" out in the audience really loud, and he said hi back, and then everybody was like laughing. After that, I think he was the first one to actually show his screening. So after I saw his, I saw several others, and I loved them, really. Okay, so I actually had a really good time at the festival. So I saw Bryan's creation, like his video, and then the rest of the show went on, and then it was time to, the show was over, and then it was time to go out to the red carpet event. That was exciting. I was finally, I thought I didn't have I didn't want to think for sure that I was going to get to meet him, because you never know. There's a lot of people who want to meet the same creators, but the red carpet was actually really cool. It wasn't like a big red carpet or anything. What they did was, there was half of it, you went out of the theater, and then they had it all roped off the other side of the theater, and so everybody lined up along there, and the creators just kind of came along this way one by one and greeted everybody and took selfies, the typical red carpet stuff. So I was really excited because I was at the back of the theater, and I got to bolt out, and I got a really good spot on the red carpet. I was in the front row, like right against the rope, and so I got to meet a lot of them, and everybody was so nice, you know, like if somebody didn't care about a creator that was coming along and they were in the front, they would let somebody who, we would just like kind of ask people at the back, hey, do you want to see this creator? Do you want to meet them? And they would be like, yes, please. And so I just stood back and I was like, here you go. And everybody was nice too, like they were ducking out of other people's selfies, you know, so that it could just be a special moment between the fan and the creator. That was nice. So I met Bryan first, and that was really exciting. I was nervous when I met him. I mean, I had a lot of questions that I wanted to ask him. Of course you can't, because it's red carpet. But I wanted to ask him about, like, how do you like Canada, because he's from California, and he doesn't come to Canada very often. I mean, I think he's only been, like, 2 or 3 times. So I wanted to ask him about that, but of course it totally slipped out of my head when I saw him. But I said hi, and he was so nice. I remember I took a couple selfies with him. I will insert here. And after that, I just kind of let other people get through to meet him, but he was still in the same area, so I gave him a hug. We hugged a couple times, which was super nice. He was just very sweet. I told him that I had been watching him since about 100,000 subscribers, and he said, "Aw, thank you." He's so nice. And he's so genuine too. I mean, I think a lot of people get like false perceptions of YouTube stars on when they're watching their videos, because they have such a huge following. You might think, oh, they're not gonna be like very humble, or they're gonna be kind of stuck up or whatever, but they're not. They're really nice people. So I met Bryan, and that was pretty much the highlight of my day. I was like, yes, mission accomplished. And then I met Charles Trippy, which was really nice. I mean, I don't watch his videos a whole lot, but I do really like his videos, and he's a band member of We the Kings. I mean, We the Kings, I mean, is an awesome band. So, I said hi to him, and I remember his was less eventful. I mean, I didn't talk to him as much. I mean, I wanted to let other people who were like fangirling over him to have their opportunity. I mean, they cared more than I did, so I let them take over. So I took a selfie with him, and I remember when, okay, so somebody else was taking a selfie with him, and I was in the background, so I ducked, and Charles turned around and goes, nice duck, nice duck. I saw that. And that was funny. That was funny. I laughed. So after I met Charles, Trippy, all the rest of the creators came by. The ones I didn't really know, so I kind of like let everybody else come to the front and meet them. And after that was done, everything had pretty much ended. And then Shay, Carl, and Colette came down. They were like really talking to like everybody, so they took their sweet time coming down the aisle. And I remember I let everybody take selfies with them because I don't watch them very much. So, I mean, I let all the people behind me in front of me again. That was pretty much the routine because I was only there to really see Bryan. But I saw Shay Carl come down, and he was so nice and funny. I had my camera out. I will insert a clip here. Hi, Shay.
Have a hug. How's it going?
Can you say hi to the camera?
Hi, camera. I'm Shay.
I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily. Later on, you'll watch this and see that I had a snow globe.
Oh, thank you.
What? No, it's mine.
Happy Canada.
Yes, I love this weather. The weather is nice. I'm loving it.
Really?
Yeah,
You like it?
I do.
I want to escape it.
That's why I appreciate
I want to escape it because I live it 9 months of the year.
Yeah.
It's gruesome sometimes.
I understand. You want to get a selfie?
Sure.
Get a picture?
Well, okay. And that's where I met Shay Carl. I mean, he was really nice. And then I met Colette too. And I got a selfie with them both too. They were just really nice and funny. Like, Shay Carl was his typical funny self. But that is pretty much my experience meeting Shay Carl, Charles Trippy, Colette, and Bryan Lanning at Bufferfest. It was more than worth it to make all the transit stops down to Toronto. It was very difficult for me to kind of get a ride, but I was like, oh no, I'm going to this thing because I never get to go to these things.